Lowering the weight of the Q50 is extremely vital trying to get better times in the quarter-mile track. That's why today I'm actually going to show you guys how to drill and install a brand new aluminum race seat. This race seat only weighs 5 pounds, so it's going to shed a lot of weight off the vehicle. Alright, so basically I kind of just temporarily placed some hardware in the center location of the planted seat for the width, obviously, of the race seat. These race seats, you want to get them as wide as, you know, as comfortable as you can actually fit within the seat, and that also fits within the car. I got lucky and I just wang it, and I got this one, which is 17-inch, and it fits perfectly fine. So you want to temporarily place the hardware and the bracket in its location where you think it's going to be best. Place the seat and kind of have everything symmetrical. You want to make sure that where you're going to drill, you're going to have plenty edge margin. So everything looks pretty good right there. Everything looks somewhat symmetrical, so I'm just going to make a couple tracings of its current location just to get a rough idea. I still have to place the slides on here, so it won't be my final drawing. This again is a rough estimate. Just want to double check everything. So you're going to use an ultra fine tip marker, that way you can trace a precise area. I have it traced up to where I want to drill and laid out. It's symmetrical with the other side. You can get a scale, which is also known as a ruler. You can measure the distance between the edge and the hole that you want to drill. I had just finished drilling with the number 21, which is 0.159, and now I'm going to upsize it to a 1/4 inch. I thought my fasteners were actually 1/2 inch fasteners, but apparently they're not. I wasn't prepared, and I do not have drill bits bigger than a 1/4 inch, so I will go ahead and attempt to drill a 3/8 at the moment. Perfect. Now I'm going to do the opposite side. Now let's go ahead and deburr these holes. So as you can see there are some burrs right around the hole, and that's something you want to take off. They are sharp edges which are not going to allow the fastener to lay flat and can possibly cut you. And since my actual deburr tool got stolen from me at an airport, I have to kind of just file it down. If you have a rotary tool, air compressor or anything like that, you can also use this. This is much easier. I'm just showing you something that, you know, you might have around, or it's cheaper to have. This thing is like 600 bucks. There are cheaper ones, but you know, not everybody has access to air tools. All right, so now we're gonna put fasteners through the hole, kind of mount the bracket up. I'm using washers on the head side as well as on the nut side. We're gonna go ahead and tighten it. I think it's best to actually put the head from the inside so the shank doesn't stick out as far. You want to use washers on both sides of the boat, so under the head and underneath the tail. And depending on the kind of hardware size you're using is also going to depend on the type of tool. I'm just using a number 6 Allen head, and I'm just using an adjustable wrench to hold the nut until I can torque everything down properly. The backside kind of needs larger washers so it sits fine and doesn't fall in between the crevices here. And now with the shank, you know, being outside, it's not going to rub into your body. All right, so while you have the side mounts already on, you can go ahead and bolt up the actual brace that mounts common to the vehicle. It might be easier for you to actually tighten those bolts on first before doing the side ones. I didn't find an issue actually putting the nuts on the bottom side and then torquing it down from the top while holding the nut from in between the seat and the bracket itself. So just make sure to actually bolt up everything with washers on both sides. You kind of want to, you know, even out the torque throughout the whole thing. Although this is steel, the fasteners are steel as well. The seat is aluminum. So inside here, you want to make sure you really do use some type of washer. You do not want the steel driving into the aluminum seat. So being that the seat is pretty much bolted up, you can either go ahead and do a test fit. I'm pretty sure mine fits fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of wrap her up here. Now this seat is from 1994. I found this literally on the Facebook market group. It might look funny as heck, but it's gonna work. It's gonna do its job for what it's intended. I'm not dailing the car with this seat. I'm literally just using it to and from the track. All right, so now for the seat belt. The harness ran through that hole right there and attached into that forward hole via this clip, as well as over here, which I stuck an offset needle nose pliers through there to kind of press on the tabs to pull down on the clips. And then I just pulled it out of the hole, and now I'm going to unfasten this. Looks like it's a 14 mil. So for the seatbelt itself, I have a 1/2 inch bolt, a couple washers, and a jam nut because there's hardly any space here, so I want a low profile nut to fit back there. You just gotta torque it down really good, and you should be good with the seatbelt. Since it's a race seat, I'm pretty sure it fits here now. You just gotta finesse it in here. I weigh 167.9. Now let's weigh myself in the car seat. 234. So how much is that?
Plus 20 pounds.
Now with the lightweight seat, 194. All right, so now we're gonna make the airbag delete resistors. Pretty much you wanna get some wire and strip it to expose some of the wire. I'm using 22 gauge. Now there's many ways to connect these wires to this resistor. Now this resistor here is a 2.2 ohm resistor, 1/2 watt. I'm going to solder the ends to these cables or wires. And then on the other side, I'm actually gonna put the wire through these prongs. So then these prongs can pretty much just connect into the airbag clip that's in the car. I'm gonna put some solder onto the wire. I'm also gonna put some onto the resistor. If you've never done this before, I find it easier to put the solder onto the heating element and then kind of drag what you want the solder to be on off of the heating element. Then you grab both of them, kind of heat one up and then the other, and then move away. Then it'll cool off. Now let's grab the other one. Boom, just like that. So now let's add some shrink wrap. This is on there. You can tug it and it won't even come off. So now you want to heat up the shrink wrap. And now we're gonna go ahead and put the wires through this little prong. All right, now you want to clamp it. Now we're gonna slip the heat shrink over it. Bada boom, there you have your resistors. Oh, this is one of them. Now let's head over to the car to see if it works. All right, so this is it connected to the airbag clip. You have the seatbelt, the main harness for the power, and then the airbag. And you pretty much want to put it in the smallest hole. Let me show you. You're gonna want to put it in the smallest hole here. It goes in fairly easy and it's pretty snug. You can make this modified, make the wires shorter. You can cut these metal prongs, make everything a little more compact. You can tape it up a little bit if you'd like. But let's go ahead and see if it works. Hey, no more airbag light.